If someone asked me to describe the moment I fell in love with my wife, I'd probably lie and say it was something romantic. The truth is, it was just easy, comfortable. She smiled at me across a crowded bar, told me I looked like someone she could trust, and I believed her. Her name was Emily. We met through mutual friends, hit it off fast, and within a few months we were living together. A year later, we got married in a quiet ceremony in her hometown. No big fanfare, no drama. I thought that was a good sign, that we weren't the dramatic type. That we were the kind of couple that lasted. I really believed we had something solid. We split the bills, had a dog, made dumb little routines together. She'd kiss me on the forehead every morning while I drank coffee. I'd rub her feet at night while she watched her reality shows. We weren't flashy, we were real, and I was proud of that. It never occurred to me that from the very beginning, she was living a second life. I'm not talking about a one-time mistake. This wasn't some random guy at a bar on a bad night. What I found out, slowly, painfully, was that she had been cheating on me since before we got married. Since the beginning, since we were just dating. 5 years of lies, right to my face. And the worst part? I didn't see it. Looking back now, sure, there were signs. But when you're happy, or when you think you're happy, your brain edits out the red flags. I ignored the late nights. I didn't question the locked phone. I believed her when she said the new guy at work was just a friend. I actually thanked her once for being so committed to her job, because she worked weekends and traveled for training sessions. Turns out, those weekends were just lies with plane tickets. I was living in a house built on top of a lie, and I didn't even know it. Until one day, I did. It started with a photo, an envelope left at my office. No return address. Inside was a single photo of Emily. She was sitting in a bar I didn't recognize, pressed up close to some guy. His hand was on her thigh. Her head was on his shoulder. It wasn't just physical, it looked intimate. Like a couple, like love. On the back of the photo, in handwriting I didn't recognize, it said, "Still going strong. You deserve to know." That was the first crack in the glass. And once it cracked, everything else started breaking too. After I got that photo, everything changed, not out loud, but inside me. Emily still kissed me goodbye in the mornings. She still texted, "Love you," when I picked up groceries. But now, every time she smiled, all I could see was that picture. Her leaning on some guy like she'd known him her whole life. Comfortable, close, like I was the one on the outside looking in. I didn't say anything right away. I couldn't. My first reaction wasn't rage, it was doubt. Doubt in myself. I kept wondering, was I missing something? Could it have been an old photo? Could it be harmless? But the note on the back shut that idea down. Still going strong. That meant ongoing. That meant now. So I started paying attention. Really paying attention. That night, while she was in the shower, I checked her phone for the first time in our marriage. My hands were shaking. I felt like I was the one doing something wrong. But that guilt disappeared when I opened her messaging app, not the regular texts, the other one she used for work. There he was, Jason, the same guy from the photo. The message pinned to the top of their chat said, "Can't believe it's been 5 years. Still feels like yesterday." 5 years. We'd been together for 5 years. That meant he was there from day one. I scrolled down through the texts, dinner plans, photos of them on trips she never told me about, jokes about how I never suspected a thing. I felt my chest tighten. My hands started going numb. It was all right there, plain as day. And the worst part was, she talked about me like I was a joke. Like I was this boring, clueless husband she had to put up with. I didn't sleep that night. I just lay in bed next to her, staring at the ceiling, wondering how many nights she came home from his bed straight into mine. How many times she kissed me with his mouth still on her. The woman I loved, the woman I'd built a life with, was a stranger. Or worse, someone who had been playing me since the start. But here's the thing, I didn't confront her. I wanted to, God, I wanted to, but I didn't. Not yet, because in that moment, anger wasn't enough. I didn't want to yell. I didn't want apologies or tears. I wanted justice. I wanted her to feel it. So I made a decision. I was going to keep quiet. Act normal. Smile. Pretend like everything was fine. Because if she could lie to me for 5 years, I could lie to her for a few weeks. I needed time. Time to gather everything. Time 2. Build the kind of revenge that doesn't just end things. It erases her from everything she took for granted. The marriage, the house, the money, me. And when it was done, she'd have nothing left but the same emptiness she handed me. From the outside, I looked fine. Maybe a little tired, but inside, I was locked in. Every move she made, I tracked it. Every excuse, every late meeting, every weekend trip she brushed off with client retreat, I logged it all. I started building a timeline on my work laptop, labeling every date, location, and lie. The longer I watched, the clearer the pattern became. Jason wasn't some fling. He was a whole second life she kept running alongside ours. It was like I'd been replaced in my own story. But I didn't confront her. I smiled. I kissed her goodnight. I made her coffee in the morning like nothing had changed. She had no idea that every day, I was digging deeper. That every time she left the house, I went through her drawers, her browser history, the little hiding spots she probably thought were clever. That's how I found the second phone. It was hidden in a shoebox in the back of her closet, buried under old winter clothes. Burn phone. No lock screen. Just Jason and her. Hundreds of messages, photos, voice notes, 5 years worth. She documented everything like it was a scrapbook. I took pictures of every screen with my own phone. I wasn't just gathering evidence now. I was building a case. Because here's what she didn't know. The house was in my name. The savings account? 90% mine. She had access, but I was the one who funded it. The prenup? Ironclad. She always said it was just a formality. We'll never need it, she laughed when we signed it. That's the thing about liars. They get careless when they think they've got you wrapped. I met with a lawyer. Quietly, I laid it all out, the photos, the texts, the dates. She looked at me like she'd seen this story 100 times. You want the clean route, or the painful one? She asked. I didn't hesitate. The one that ruins her. We put a plan together. First, lock the finances. I moved the bulk of our savings into a separate account with just my name. Second, get the paperwork ready. Divorce filing, property division, asset freeze. Third, and this part was mine, wait until she was completely comfortable. Because revenge, real revenge, isn't loud. It's precise. And I wanted her to feel safe right up until the moment the floor gave out. So I played the part. I took her on date nights. I left notes in her purse. I cooked her favorite meals. And she, God, she was glowing. Thought she'd pulled it off. Thought she had me beat. I even heard her on the phone one night, telling Jason how he's been so sweet lately, it's almost sad. Sad, she thought I was pathetic. That's when I knew, she didn't just cheat on me. She pitied me. That's when it stopped being about anger. It became something colder. I wasn't going to just leave her. I was going to erase her. The best lies are the ones people tell themselves. That's what Emily was doing. Living in this little fantasy where she had it all. A stable, loyal husband at home, and some secret, passionate side story with Jason. She thought she was getting away with it. Every time I poured her a glass of wine, every time I rubbed her back and asked about her day, she leaned into the lie more. She let her guard down. And that's exactly what I wanted. 3 weeks after I found that first photo, the plan was ready. My lawyer had all the paperwork. The bank accounts were locked. My name was off any shared credit. I even pulled my emergency contact info from her work benefits. I was scrubbing myself from her life, detail by detail, while she still thought I was planning a vacation for our anniversary. She had no clue. Then, the cracks started showing. One evening, I was on the couch when she got a call. She stepped outside to take it, like always. But she left her purse behind. I quietly grabbed her second phone from the inside zipper, turned on the screen, and read the newest message from Jason. You sure he's still clueless? He hasn't said anything? Her reply, he's too soft. Even if he found out, he wouldn't do anything. He needs me. That one stuck with me. He needs me. I stared at that line for a long time. Not because it hurt, it didn't, not anymore. I'd already grieved the marriage. What I felt in that moment was something colder than heartbreak. She believed she was untouchable. She thought I'd never leave because I was weak. That belief was her blind spot. And it was going to be the thing that destroyed her. A few days later, I started planting seeds. Little things to get her off balance. I asked if she was happy. She said yes. I asked if she still saw Jason at work, just to gauge her reaction. She played dumb. But she hesitated. The fear was creeping in. Then I told her I was thinking about changing jobs, something in a new city. Watched her face carefully. Her smile froze. That's when I knew. She wasn't planning on staying with Jason long-term. She wanted the option, but not the reality. She wanted the security of me and the thrill of him. But moving? That would break the balance. She started texting him more after that. I was still reading every word. She was nervous. He was pushing for real commitment. She told him I was acting strange. Damn right I was. I was getting ready to blow it all up. The final move came one Friday. I told her I was going to be out late, client dinner. I kissed her goodbye like always and left. But I didn't go far. I parked 2 blocks away and waited. At 7:42 p.m., a car pulled into the driveway. I recognized the guy from the photo, Jason. She let him in without hesitation. I didn't need to go inside. I had the pie handle that. Cameras, audio, proof. The next morning, I had the footage. Him in our house, sitting on my couch, drinking out of my glass, her laughing like a teenager. They kissed right there in the hallway. She pulled him by the hand toward the bedroom. It was all there, undeniable, final. The very next morning, I printed the photos, loaded the video clips on a flash drive, and put them in a small envelope. On the front, I wrote her name. I placed it on the kitchen table. Then I took my packed duffel bag and left. No note, no yelling, no confrontation, just the truth, delivered, waiting like a landmine. I waited at a coffee shop down the road. Not because I was nervous, I just didn't want to miss it. I had a clear line of sight to our street. I sat there with my drink, phone on the table, pretending to scroll like I wasn't watching my entire marriage burn to the ground. At 8:07 a.m., she came outside to check the mail. Nothing unusual. She looked relaxed, probably still replaying her little night of stolen romance with Jason. She didn't even glance at the table when she passed it. But a few minutes later, the curtains in the kitchen twitched. She'd seen the envelope. I could imagine her standing there, just staring at it, wondering what it was, where it came from. Her name written in my handwriting. No card, no ribbon. Just truth wrapped in silence. Another minute passed. Then the front door opened again. She stepped outside, barefoot, phone in one hand, the envelope in the other. Her eyes were darting around, scanning the street like someone expecting to be watched. She knew. She could feel it. I watched her go back inside, and that was it. The show was over. Curtain down. A few hours later, the texts started coming in. Emily. Where are you? Emily. We need to talk. Emily. Please don't do anything stupid. I didn't reply. By noon, I had 11 missed calls. By 3 p.m., she emailed me at work. The subject line just said, "I'm sorry." I didn't open it. That night, I stayed at a friend's place. Slept on a couch that felt more like home than the bed I'd been sharing with a liar. I stared at the ceiling and thought about all the little moments she'd stolen from me. Every fake kiss, every forced smile, every, "I love you," she said right after being with him. But I didn't feel empty. I felt free. The next morning, my lawyer filed the papers. Irreconcilable differences. Adultery documented. All assets frozen. She'd get nothing from me but the house, and even that was conditional. She had to vacate within 30 days. The prenup did exactly what it was designed to do. Protect the person who actually meant their vows. And me? I went to the bank and closed the joint account. Transferred what was mine. The new balance on her end? 0. Then I shut down her access to the car insurance, the health coverage, even the streaming services. Petty? Maybe. But every detail she took for granted? Gone. And the final blow? I sent the video. To her parents. To her sister. To Jason's wife. Yeah, turns out he was married, too. The fallout was nuclear. She tried to call again that night, not to apologize. No, she was furious. Not because of what she did, but because I didn't give her a chance to lie her way out of it. I let her scream into voicemail. And I slept better than I had in months. The silence didn't last long. By day 3, my phone lit up with a new number. I let it ring out, same as the others. Then it rang again, same number, over and over. Eventually, curiosity got the better of me. I let it go to voicemail and listened. It was Jason. His voice was tight, like someone trying hard not to lose it. Hey man, listen, I don't know what you think you saw, but, look, can we talk? This whole thing's getting out of control. Out of control? You mean now that your wife knows? Now that your secret vacation from your own marriage just exploded? I didn't respond. Instead, I forwarded the voicemail to his wife, along with screenshots, one after another. A few hours later, Jason's number stopped calling. That night, Emily tried again. Not yelling this time. Not angry. Just desperate. Please, I know I messed up. I was stupid. But 5 years, it wasn't fake. I still love you. He doesn't matter. He never mattered like you do. That was the first time I felt something like pity. She was scrambling to glue the pieces back together with the same mouth that kissed someone else for half a decade. Trying to climb back into a life she lit on fire. The thing about betrayal is, once you see it, really see it, you can't unsee it. Everything you thought was solid turns hollow. Every memory becomes suspicious. Even her laugh in old videos started to sound fake to me. She begged for a meeting. Said she wanted to explain. That she owed me that. Maybe she did, but I wasn't interested in her explanations. I'd lived through the truth. I didn't need the remix. Still, I agreed to meet her. One time. Not for her, for me. We sat at a coffee shop. Neutral ground. She walked in looking like she hadn't slept. Hair tied up, sunglasses too big for her face. No makeup, no performance. I stayed silent while she spoke. She cried, swore it just happened. Said it started early on, and she thought she'd stop. But she didn't, because every time she tried to pull away, Jason pulled her back in. She said she got used to it. That she thought I'd never find out. That she hoped I wouldn't. That was the part that stung the most. She hoped I'd stay ignorant. Because me being clueless made her life easier. She didn't cry for me. She cried for the life she lost. The comfort, the safety, the routine. When she was done, she asked one question. Is there any chance we could fix this? I looked her straight in the eyes and said, calm as I'd ever been. No. She nodded. She didn't fight it. Then, just before I stood up, I told her the last part. That I'd filed for divorce. That she was legally required to leave the house by the end of the month. That the bank account was gone. That I'd sent everything to Jason's wife. And to her family. Her face went pale. No more bargaining. No more guilt trips. Just the weight of consequences finally settling in. I stood up, finished my coffee, and left. No hug. No goodbye. No looking back. It's been 6 months since that last conversation. Emily's gone. Moved out of the house in exactly 28 days. I didn't have to chase her or drag it through court. The silence probably scared her more than yelling ever could. When someone realizes they've lost all control, they vanish fast. I haven't seen her since. The house felt too heavy at first. Too full of ghosts. I took down every photo, donated anything she ever bought for the place. I even sold the couch. Not because I needed the money, just because I couldn't stand the idea of sitting where he once sat, drinking out of my glass like he lived here. I fixed the yard, painted the kitchen, got rid of the ugly curtains she picked, reclaimed every inch. It's my house now. Sometimes people ask if I'm doing better. That's what they say when they know something tore your life apart but they don't want to get too close to it. I usually just nod, smile, say something like, yeah, one day at a time. But the truth is, I'm not just doing better. I'm free. Free from pretending. Free from wondering. Free from a version of love that was built on lies and convenience. That version of my life? It was a cage wrapped in soft words and warm touches. And I stayed in it for years because I thought that's what real love looked like: compromise, sacrifice, loyalty. Turns out, real love doesn't require betrayal to feel real. Emily sent me a letter a few weeks ago. Handwritten. Said she's been going to therapy. That she's working on herself. That she regrets everything. She didn't ask to come back this time. She didn't ask for forgiveness either. She just wanted to say she understood what she lost. I didn't respond. Because some things, some people, don't deserve a reply. And Jason? He tried to call again. Once. I blocked the number. His wife divorced him, too. From what I heard through mutual contacts, he's sleeping on a friend's couch and bouncing between jobs. Life has a funny way of evening things out when you least expect it. As for me, I started over. I'm not rushing into anything new. I'm not trying to replace her or prove I've moved on with someone younger or prettier. That's not what this part of my life is about. This part is about peace. About walking into my house at night and knowing there are no secrets waiting for me inside. I learned something through all this. You can't control who hurts you, but you can decide what you do with the pain. And me? I turned it into a blueprint. I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I didn't break. I built. Brick by brick, I built my life back without her. And it's stronger now, because I know exactly who I am. And I'll never let anyone take that away from me again.